Hello everyone, I'm Joe, this is Gav, this is Aaron, and we are here to talk Overwatch, and more specifically, Overwatch's newest map, Eichenwalde, appropriately German for Gamescom.
How do you say it?
Eichenwalde.
Eichenwalde.
But you just said someone's told you did it wrong, right?
I'm not sure.
Secrets behind the secrets.
No.
He's like, don't mention that on stage. It's happening.
Yeah,
straight
you guys got me.
Yeah.
I'm actually, I don't speak any German, so I'm not the authority on how to pronounce it. But I've been told it's Eichenwalde.
Okay, and here it is. We're seeing it.
Awesome.
So it kind of explained the map like in base terms to us, like what mode type are we playing, what can we expect to see on the way?
Yeah, so Eichenwalde, it takes place in this destroyed German town on the outskirts of Stuttgart. And there was this big battle that took place there many years ago during the first Omnic crisis. And this is kind of when Overwatch first started forming. So there was this Crusader division, including Reinhardt, one of our heroes, and his former mentor, Baldric. And they had this heroic last stand here, and they managed to defeat the Omnics. But the map type itself is what we call a hybrid map. And a hybrid map for Overwatch typically starts with attackers capturing a control point, and then it moves into a payload section of the map. And so right here, we're in the attacker spawn room, and they're just leaving it. And this is the town section, and they need to get through a difficult choke in order to capture the first control point.
Nice. And the choke's a drawbridge this time, right?
We do have a drawbridge choke in the map. The first one is not that, but the drawbridge is really interesting. You actually have to push a payload across a drawbridge in the map, and there's a drop-off on both sides where players can get knocked to their deaths on it.
Great. Lucio's very happy right now.
Yeah, there you go. Lucio players could be really happy with it, along with Farah's.
Oh, God, concussions. No.
It's a really
I'm already unhappy about what's going to happen to me on this map.
Yeah, it's actually a really fun moment, and to push through it on the attacking team takes a lot of coordination, and it's one of our first chokes that's actually really open.
Okay.
So the whole area around it's open, but it's still a choke for the team to get through.
So I guess the idea is, you might have people who can push you off the edges, but then it's open enough that snipers could like counter snipe.
Yep, this is that moment when all those offensive Widowmakers can finally shine for their team.
Widowmaker and Anna players just lining up at the other end of the map.
But Anna on this is absolutely kicking ass. Like she's doing really well on this now.
Jeez.
Yeah, this is a great area for her. The second area, it's the most vertical space that we have in all of Overwatch, and a lot of the gameplay takes place around this big central keep. So you're kind of like pushing the payload up these ramparts, and you can get on all the castle walls, and you can get to a higher elevation than you've ever gotten in Overwatch. And so I think when I'm playing this, it's like a totally fresh experience for Overwatch players.
And will that be just for that verticality? Will that kind of be the sort of stuff that only Widowmaker and Flyers can get up to, or are we talking like lots of stairs and nooks and crannies? And
there are a lot of stairs, and there are a lot of nooks and crannies, and there's even a whole level beneath this as well. There's it's almost like these tunnels beneath this central building. And I don't know if they're going to show it, but it's a little bit of a secret. Right off the ledge, right here that Anna's firing across, there's this little hole in the wall. So you can either jump off down in there, or it's a really cool place for Farah to sneak under, use her jet boost ability to like come up above either team and just take them out with a well-timed ult. Yeah, exactly.
My favorite bit so far is like there was a room with like just loads of clocks in there.
Yeah, the clock room.
Well, yeah, our own James Duggan has some sort of like mad theory about the time on those clocks.
Oh, really?
Like where the hands sit doesn't make sense.
Right.
Which, from you guys, that's always there's something
Gotta be
going on.
on
I
with
can't
us.
say anything about whether there's any sort of secret messages in any part of the map.
But there is.
But
There's loads.
you can say there is, right? So I mean, okay. So we're across the bridge here, right?
Yep.
So and then what happens after this point? We smash through the door.
yep. So the payload's a
so
battering
good.
ram. It
Yeah.
smashes through the door. It's this really cool moment, and you need to push it through the interior of this keep. And it's I actually loved seeing this part of the level come together because it almost feels like we're looking at a WoW dungeon. And a lot of people on our team obviously are big World of Warcraft fans. A lot of people on our team worked on World of Warcraft, so it's really cool to see something like this actually in Overwatch. And at the end of the map, they're going to push the payload almost to what looks like a throne there.
Yeah.
And on that throne
That's Baldric,
is
right?
Baldric.
Yeah.
And this is where he died making his last stand here. This area is really cool for Reapers. There's tons of flanking routes, and there's multiple areas that he can get on top of.
Yeah.
And once he does that, he's going to drop off soon, and it's die, die, die.
Yeah.
It does kind of look like the payload's going up there just to pulverize all Chris remains.
This dude's dead body.
Yeah, that's all. How all Crusaders have to go out smashed by another hammer bigger than theirs.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you're talking about new previously unseen sort of approach for a choke point, we've got like a very different environment. You're talking about the verticality. Are you expecting people to kind of switch up their characters, try and main someone else on this map? Like, do you expect it to change how people approach the game?
I would love for something like that to happen, and not just for how people approach the game, but maybe how a team approaches this map too. Like, I would hope that even at the high level and in competitive play, that people start thinking about the heroes that they ought to pick on this map compared to other maps. Because when I'm watching tournaments, I always think that that's a really interesting strategic aspect.
Yeah, I think that's one of the really good things about Overwatch, and especially with like maps like this, is you will actually have to learn a new character, and maybe because that's the thing that I never do as well, I don't think, is like change from the characters that I main all the time, but I really like the idea that it can actually force you to actually play in a different way.
And a vertical space, you might not realize it, but it's actually a really great space for Winston. He can jump over walls, and he can kind of flank enemies, and whenever he gets in trouble, he can be up and away in another part of the map that's really hard for a lot of other characters to get to.
I was going to say that final area looks really tight as well. So if you've got a Winston with like Primal Fury, his ultimate, I can't remember the name.
Primal Rage,
Primal Rage. If you've got him just wandering about hallways.
Well, imagine him on that drawbridge.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
No. Absolutely crazy.
He's an absolute monster. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, okay, so we've got this new map. What can we expect next? Like, I mean, I'm not expecting specifics, but you've had the new character, you've had the summer games, you've had the new map. Are we expecting to see more of those things from you guys? Are you kind of playtesting new stuff already?
We're definitely doing that. On the Overwatch team, we have all sorts of new heroes, new maps in development right now. That's multiple at the same time.
It's disgusting how excited that makes me.
I love to hear that. And we recently just released Summer Games, like you said, and we were starting to take a bit of a wait-and-see approach with that. How are players going to react to our first event and a totally new game mode in the game, which is Lucio Ball? And we've had such a great reception to it that we're already working on new events, new game modes, and new brawls, similar to what you see. So there's all sorts of stuff coming. You'll actually see a lot of it soon, before the end of the year. So I hope that players can be excited about what's coming.
And so are we talking... With that kind of thing, like Lucio Ball's been really well received. Like people are really interested in that kind of thing. But then obviously the nature of brawls being what they are in the game, often you see them for a week and they're gone. Obviously with this one it's a bit longer. But is there any thought about instituting a way to revisit old brawls particularly with Lucio Ball? Is that going to be a fixture, or do we wait for the summer games every year?
It's something we're talking about. We are taking Lucio Ball away at the end of summer games. We want it to feel like a really special moment in time for Overwatch. And that's what we're hoping that players look forward to with new events, is that there's going to be a new special moment in time. But we are also talking about different ways of bringing something like Lucio Ball back so that people can play it when they want to.
Okay, cool. And will all events sort of have a mode attached to them, or was that just for this particular idea?
It was definitely for Summer Games. We thought it was really appropriate for Summer Games, and I think when we find something that we think is appropriate for a new event, we'll include it. We're not making any promises about what events will or will not include. We always want to make them as special as possible, and I think there's a lot of different ways we can do that. It's not always a new game mode. It might be a new set of features. There's new content as well, so we'll keep you guys on your toes, but it's all going to be really cool.
And the way you've been releasing stuff, this kind of monthly idea, like firstly I'm guessing that's kind of what you're aiming for, a monthly drop, but do you see Overwatch then as more like it's not a great way of putting it, but like a platform game? Like, you're not kind of thinking about what the next game will be as opposed to what you can do with this game and to change it up? Like, can we expect to see twice as many characters in a few years and like without having to move on to something new?
Yeah, I can't speak to the far off future, but our immediate and medium term plans are all about supporting this game to the best of our ability. And the content that you've seen is representative of the content that's going to be coming soon and all throughout next year. So that's kind of what our plan is. And at Blizzard, we treat all of our games like services. We support them for years to come. So I hope that players realize that when they buy their game, you get like a really cool game to play. You're also getting all of this new content that we release completely free, and they can be assured that we're going to be doing it for a long time to come.
That's great. Well, that's Eichenwalde, that's Overwatch. Thank you very much, Aaron, and for everything else from Gamescom this year, keep it locked to IGN.